take a look at the future for American public schools. And I want to see if we're going to reach a breaking point to where we finally get somebody in that will rebuild them to be effective and a safe place for children to go to, that where there's food programs and art and things like that brought back. I want to see if we're going to truly invest in the public school system and have people that use our funds the way they should be used, not cut. Those funds are meant to go to schools, not to line the special interests of politicians' friends, their pocketbooks. So let's just see. Let me get a sip. Thirsty work. All right. I'm going to use the Bluebird Lenormand. Scratchy, scratchy. All right. Well, America pull its head out of its greedy corporate oligarch system and toss it out and invest in American public schools the way they should be. Is that going to be within my lifetime? Will that change come and turn it around? All right, let's see what we get. I'm getting the garden. Well, here we have the accent on society, public interests, and the schools would fall in line with that. And that it's meant to be enjoyed all around, to make it a beautiful, peaceful place. And that is a word noted in here with the Bluebird Lenormand. It has little poetry on each, well, more of a rhyme, I guess, on each card. And the gardens entreat, to a party you'll go, new friends will arrive, and new friends will arrive, and romance may flow. Life's to be enjoyed with nature all around. In this verdant setting, beauty and peace abound. So in this green, lush, healthy setting, there's, it should be a very nice, comfortable, healthy, public space, place. I think school should definitely be those things. But looky here. We have the mountain. So they've put a great big boulder of obstacles to overcome the public school system mess and its declining state to back to what it should be. There's a prevention currently in place for it that's not allowing it to flourish. It's showing up right there as a mountain. And the mountain is about you need to confront the mountain as you would a fierce foe. To avoid your defeat, strike hard the first blow. This clear obstacle is a chance to succeed. Courage and persistence are all you will need. So people haven't really, I think, unfortunately, in the higher ups position, applied themselves, I think, to really seriously get people on board to invest in public schools. There's too much lobbyist, too much money in politics that's ruining society. So that shows up. But it's not saying that it could never happen. It's just saying that with courage and persistence in confronting this issue of why it's not being invested in when it's our tax money, um, they've got to start putting that into our children. That's exactly where it's meant to go. And here we have strife with the birch rod. And it brings bickering and a lot of, well, just arguing and strife. And it's interesting because there's a child depicted, and it's talking about a husband and wife, and uh, something has gone amiss, and it should be bliss, but now there's quarrels that bring much dismay, that dampen the day. So there's a sense of discontentment. Rightly so. And especially where ring to this birch rod is concerned, and it's about where your commitment lay, where where you're going to, what you're going to honor, and people's passions aren't in the right place. And I'm not talking about the teachers, I'm talking about those that take things away from the public schools, the lawmakers and reps and lobbyists. So it will ever be bright and continue to thrive. Okay, to the left, yeah, that doesn't matter with this, the way I'm using it, but it's basically showing that the commitment has been harmed, I think, for the benefit of children. And there's been too much disharmony um, and getting in the way of those that obviously, are seeking to do that. They're making it, the way to do it is being made purposefully to be difficult. They want to, sorry, hang on, to be able to repeatedly, I think, go in there and affect, use it as a bargaining chip, use it as something to argue with. Um, and it should be cherished, and it's not, is the bottom line. It should be cherished. And here's the heart, which is a symbol of fulfillment and joy and serenity and love, decency. But there's the coffin. So there's been a death of compassion for and selfless, if you ask me, uh, concern for the future and for, again, we have a child being shown, not for nothing. And illness is known, sickness is near, fate has its own ending to fear. You lose your money. All hopeless to you. And what is sad is your courage fails too. The cards are even saying to me that the politicians and the lobbyists, the big money has let public schools and children down. They do not care. Their commitment is not in the right place. It ends up being a form of punishment and cruelly taking things away from children that they should have, uh, that people should be able to agree upon, or people once did. And now they rile people up, and they also, you don't always have people putting the money where it should go, too. So there's a big problem there. They need to sort this stuff out. Yes, we're shown the snake, the serpent, uh, and we're the anchor. So vile is the serpent who lulls with a bite. Be not indulgent or slow to the fight. Flee every moment she turns on the charm. This poised opponent will bring you to harm. And then there's the anchor sign of a stable event, basked in sunshine, secure and content. When the anchor's some distance away from you, hope will fade and leave life askew. Well, this is showing, I think, a problem with stability because there's temptation and there's greed. Um, with the snake, there's the use of lies and deception to confuse and to get people to cut money away. They look at our tax money not as they should, many of them, which is it's not their purse to decide, you know? And they need to realize too that even if it's not theirs, that they should respect us much more than they do, and as they would someone taking their money and saying where it's going to go. But most of these guys don't look to pay taxes, you know? That's another thing that needs to change. I'll be looking at that too. So this is continuing to show the resistance and lies from us being able to get our public school systems properly funded and stable. And here comes the fox. This is to do with being sly, and this is the lily. So it can deal with wisdom and also maybe finally putting the fox in check or getting wise to this finally. Let me just look at something real quick here on the lilies, number 30 here. In the blue bird, Lenormand, number 30. I have my bear over here, but she's out of camera shot. Let's see. Okay, number 30. Da, da, da. Okay, so the lilies are happy and virtuous life by an ambitious person, reveals good disposition and outlook. And if not, there's questionable integrity. All right, that with the fox here is making sense to me more as those that don't have good integrity in charge of where the funding and investment and protection of that for public schools is concerned. There's greedy people, the fox in the hen house. And the hen house is our tax money and the money that's allotted for schools and things like that. I'm getting the sun, however. So here is the sun is warm and brightens the day. Good luck has begun to come your way. The closer your location, you bask in the sweet bliss. Energy abounds in summer's radiant kiss. And it is paired with the house. So there's a light on homeschooling. That's what I think. It's shifting away And I think especially with COVID, that also created an excuse for people, I think, to mess with public schools funding even more. Um, so it looks to me like also for stability with the house, it's going to also depend on families, I think, also coming forward and demanding um, change and putting energy behind this with the sun. Let's see what else. Yeah, this is bestowing of stability upon your fate with the sun. And so going to be a change, though. There's a time of good luck, and where somebody comes in, I believe, to bring stability. There's a chance of that because maybe they don't want to lose funding for public schools, you know. And also, I think there's people that th- a public school is it's needed. It's a better place for some kids to go. But lately they're not even safe. So I think that's why we're seeing the sun and the home, which I feel like is definitely an aspect of saying, hey, it's homeschooling tends to be highlighted for the future. And I think until they get a grip on certain weapon violence in schools, armed violence in schools, that's also going to only push this trend toward people that are doing things from home or online or a different manner than the public system. And it's got the moon. The slumbering moon, when it rises near, means that great honors are bound to appear. Intuition and perception soar in the night. Emotions wax and wane in the moon's light. And we get the stork. So this is change. I think this is change in the, I think, awareness about the schools and about that more and more people are going to look to alternatives. And interesting that we get the stork also connected to children typically, um, traditionally. And here we have the tower. And in this case, the tower is protection and the government authority protection. So we get a change where there's, I think, people thinking more reflectively upon the fact that it, it looks like the projection is for more and more people to look to alternatives outside of public school for a number of reasons. A number of reasons, and I don't. I would be uh, anyway. So here we have the protective tower of confident and secure. Um, when troubles surround, weakness may come, problems that abound, you must overcome. So this feels like to me, this is saying this is something that America as a nation is going to realize they are meant to, they can't just leave this. They have to address it. They have to try and not lose that. Um, so this, I think, with the violence, like I'm saying, and the loss of art and other things, people have, I think, begun and will continue to move away from it. And it will be up to government and a male in government in particular, perhaps, to revise it or, rebuild this. This principal card shows a man tried and true, held high in regard. His fortune, he tells fortunes for you. Maybe a businessman. And upon your behest, if the cards are read well, the worst and the best the cards will foretell. Whatever. Um, I see a man that's connected to government and trying to protect or to affect the public school system. But there is confusion, there's a lack of clarity, there's uncertainty, and a firm decision is needed. And we have flowers, happiness, outlook that's encouraging. So, happiness anew from the flower's scent. Okay. Okay. Clouds brightly shine, strung in precision. Life will be fine with firm decision. Beware of clouds, misty and obscure. Life cloaked in darkness is hard to endure. And then we get the flowers. I still think people are not going to be clear about what benefits, what they have to look at, what they offer that kids can develop and expand and really flourish and bloom and blossom in. The children are the flowers. Hmm. And they are not sending a good message either to our children or to the world, um, because weak education makes America just look stupid and weak compared to the rest of the world. And by and large, it's slipping. And people don't like to hear that, but it's true. It's not cute to be ignorant. It's not cute at all. It's just sad and unnecessary. It's not cute to be incurious. If you have no curiosity, you are incurious. You know you're just lazy, you know? So we get the dog and the stars. I do feel like someone is going to try and repair it or revive it. We do get the dog of the faithful, the loyalty, um, and someone that brings light with the stars, shining stars bright in the sky. See how that appears? So that eventually, I think the schools are going to have to get really, really bad, okay, to maybe where government people are going to say, well, why should we fund you? You're not keeping the schools up. We're taking our kids out. And I think then they're going to get somebody in there to try and revive it and bring it to be a place of dreams, bright hope, and success. Okay. So it'll have to be people that really believe in it and that are compassionately connected and driven that way, not financially. But they have to be, of course, willing to go to bat to make sure that they get what they should be given and it used appropriately. Here we have a lady, the charming lady with flowers in hand, as with the gentleman, her cards will command the fortunes revealed once the cards have been placed, unveil the fate that destiny traced. Well, that's interesting because she does fall right upon the flowers and the gentleman after them and after the star. And I feel like she's going to be a very significant woman in that will, I think, maybe head public education or the revamp of it. Yes, but there's some hidden things yet connected to her, but she is meant for this job this will be her thing. You know, really, this is where her flowers in life will lie. And it has yet to be revealed, has yet to come out, to come forward. It is yet further into uh, the future, and it hasn't begun to crop up yet. We still have a slide down to go. let me just correct the balance on this. Unfortunately, with I think um, the it doesn't matter. Maybe if I do this, there. So we unfortunately still have, it looks like the school's going into decline for a while until I believe we say, hold up, you know, not going to do this anymore. And we get somebody that's going to be dedicated to fighting for that. But it looks like it will come and it's meant to. It all plays a role in the lives and the, stories of others that are going to be coming into the world. And these things, certain aspects need to be there. The greed of this era, I think it just seems like every era is greedy, but this greed is beyond compare. Um, I think it's going to be known for it. And the stories of all these tyrants falling, historically, when people look back at it, I feel like they're going to be thinking, wow, what a bunch of greedy, uh, uncivilized, uh, unaware, m- you know, meatheads. Not on all of us, but those that were in power. I really do. I think they're gonna, look back and go, wow, just like we kind of do too. But like with the awareness of that was really bad greed going on. All right, let's just see. So in the next 10 years, will we see changes to to renew public schools as a desirable place for our kids to go and get their education? Will that change? Because I see decline for the next near future, um, and down the road a little bit. So I'm going to say in 10 years, will public schools get investment and the change needed? I get the bear. Now, that's a card of strength, bold, and financial positions. Brawny and bold. Here is the bear. And here's my bear. Anyway, your financial positions, you should be aware. Spend your resources with wisdom and care, like a bear in hibernation, having to use the resources of what fat, they were able to put on before they go into hibernation. Use your power to be strong and fair. Strong and fair. We definitely need someone to direct the financial and the resources for schools with strength and fairness. And we get loyalty with the dog. So I'm going to say yes, the next 10 years, I think we could see them try to revive and reinvest in public school systems and make them stronger with the bear, make them safe, um, and show loyalty, have a real heart to do this, just like you would to commitment to a family member, or other loved one. Yeah, there's that lady with the flowers, the charming woman with flowers in her hand and the lilies. She gets the lilies. So that's the wisdom and a bright outlook. eventually it will come back, it looks like, and believe it or not. And I think somebody may revise um, how this is, the model. Let's just put it that way. And then that sets off perhaps a new standard. But that looked very hopeful. But it could be 10 or more years down the road. Just have to keep watch of that. Gonna have to try to remember, hey, Maya, remember all those readings you read on public schools? I'm lucky if I know what day it is. Thank goodness for the phone that, on my computer. But even then, let me just try and get this back in its box safely. So anyway, that's what I have on schools. If you appreciate readings like this, please do give me a thumbs up if you'd be so kind. And I will see you in the next live, which is on Sunday at 6 p.m. West Coast time. All right. Bye.